Hello, Mr. Jabbush. Can I ask you some questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to Miami.
How do you think you made a difference in Florida?
I got to be governor for 8 years, and I had a very set agenda to transform how state government worked. I've spent a lot of time focusing on making sure that jobs were created, and we had rising income for families, and that we had higher expectations for our schools. So students could do grade level work and graduate from high school capable of getting a job or going to college. So that was my main contribution, kind of changed the direction of the state, and hopefully people benefited from it. I think they did.
Okay. Second question. Who or what influenced you in your life?
My dad is the greatest role model anybody could have. My father is about as perfect as a human being can be. So when I was growing up, I was always inspired by him. And if I could look back on my life and believe that I could be half the man of George Bush, I would consider myself successful. So he's by far and away the biggest, most important influence in my life.
What do you consider your most important thing you did as a governor of Florida?
I think it was transforming the public education system, to have accountability, to focus on reading, making sure that teachers were compensated for rising student achievement, making sure that the whole system didn't have excuses why we had the lowest graduation rate in the country. So we started at a low base in terms of the results, and over 8 years it was pretty controversial, but we improved student learning a lot. I think that's my biggest contribution.
Okay. Can you tell me an anecdote or something interesting of your life that you would like to share?
Something interesting in my life?
Yes.
Let's see. I've been married 42 years. For me, that's really interesting because I love my wife, and I met her in Mexico in high school, and when I met my wife, it was love at first sight. So your teacher might understand that a little more than your fellow students, but I fell madly in love with my wife. She was 17 and I was 18 years old, and when I saw her, I decided right there and there I wanted to marry her. It took about 2 years to convince her, but when I turned 21 and she was 20, we got married, and that's been a godsend for me. The second interesting thing is that I lived in Venezuela 2 years. We had 2 kids, and we lived in Caracas, Venezuela, which was pretty wild at the time. Not many people in this country live overseas, but I had a chance to do it.
Would you advise me to do if I wanted to run for president? What would you advise me to do?
Well, first of all, you got to be 35. You got a long time to plan for this. The Constitution requires you to be a little bit older. I think the best way to be successful, not just running for president, but for any job in political life, is to have a life experience that you can share with people. So I really never thought that being a career politician was the best way to prepare yourself to be in a leadership position, like being governor or mayor or president. You should be successful in all sorts of things. You could be a scientist, or you could be a social worker, or you could be a business person. And in your life's journey, being successful in that directly transfers over to being a governor or being a mayor or being a president.
Okay, thank you.
Those are all good questions.
Thank you. We're done.
Well done.
Yes.
Hello everybody at Palm Lake Elementary. I've enjoyed my interview, and I hope you all have the great rest of the school year.